Hello felting friends, I am going to jump right in here showing you how to do the string jointing of the legs. So what I have here for you is a waxed linen, and you're going to want buttons, and then I did grab some beads out to make Winifred's earrings, which I actually have not done that part yet, but I did gather up some supplies. I hope you guys are doing well, and this went really well. I'm super excited to get going and keep putting the doll together. So what I did first was just kind of put the legs up against the doll and make sure that you can rotate them around and try to find the position that you are happiest with for the attachment. And I will show you that here in just a second. So I did make the little hip socket on mine, and that fits in pretty well. So the buttons are going to go pretty near to the top, and you are going to use a polyester thread. You don't want to use like a cheap sewing thread. You really want to use a polyester thread that's nice and strong. I really like the Gutermann brand, and I will link that in the introductory paragraph. You can find it on Amazon, or you can pick it up at the local craft store. So first I sewed on the buttons so that they're in place, and it just makes things a little easier. So I like to sew those on separately, and with that I just use the polyester thread. So you don't have to use the waxed linen. I think if you did everything with the waxed linen, it might just clog up the holes of the button a little bit too much. So I did use the regular thread for that. So just get your placement. My first go around with putting the buttons on, I was a little bit too low. So if you mess up and it doesn't work out, just snip all the threads and start over. It wasn't a big deal, and that works out just fine. So there you go. There's one button, and then there's two buttons. And now you're going to move to the waxed linen thread. So I do just use this one length. I don't double this one up. So you will have to put it through, put the thread through, and then, tie a knot, or however you like to tie off your threads. And then just weave it back through the leg to hide the tail there. However you want to do it is fine. You can also leave the tail out because you're going to go through one leg, then through the body, through the second leg, and back through everything again. And then you can tie the tail off at that time. So you can do it either way. So here I am just going through one leg, and then once you've got that on, I did have to change needles. I didn't think my doll needle would fit through the buttons, the holes on the button, but it actually did, but that's okay. It was a tight fit. So just switch your sewing needle with your doll needle back and forth if you need to. It really wasn't a big deal, because you will need that longer doll needle to get through the body of your doll, just because it's a little bit too thick. So you're just going to attach both legs, and again, the buttons are already on. So you make one pass to the left and then one pass to the right, and then tie them off and put your tails away. Or if you already have the one tail that you got rid of, you can just end the other one. Now, the big thing that I like to do when I am string joining my dolls is I like to, again, sew the buttons on separately so that they're on with the polyester thread. And then I like to take 3 cuts of the waxed linen. So get a length of waxed linen 3 times and cut them all separately and string them all 3 through separately. And the reason that I like to do that is because if one happens to break over time with use of the doll, then there's still two that are not a part of that one string. Does that make sense? They're all three holding the doll together, but separately. Because if you go back and forth, say 6 times, if one breaks, that's all one thread. So, but if, if you go back and forth 6 times with 3 different threads, then if one breaks, you still have, the wax linen holding your doll together. So just use different threads, and I like to go through about 3 times just to make sure that's secure, and really pull it tight. That wax linen you can really pull just to get a nice tight fit. So the last thing you want is to have your doll all together and have her break or him break. So here I'm just seeing the placement. And then also when doing 3 different threads, you can kind of put them in at different points so that, if the leg is sitting kind of funny, like my one button you can see was sitting a little bit to the back. So I kind of repositioned it and then anchored it in with the second pass of the second thread so that it was sitting a little bit more how I wanted it to be. So yeah, it's easy, and I think you can see how the one button, it's not completely flush on there. So just get it how you want it. And she is going to be wearing clothes, so you're not really going to see the buttons. I'm not going to cover these buttons because she's going to have clothes on. So, I didn't really worry about it. But, make sure that you're at least happy with the positioning and that she looks good. It gets a little tight and a little hard, so just take your time to get the thread through. It is a little bit stiff and can be kind of hard to pull it through. So just be patient. She's still got that bag on her head. I really should take that off. But yeah, these came out really well, and we've been very busy here. So I guess the next step is going to be, I'm waiting on the poly pellets to come. I think they got lost in the mail. So the next thing will be making the pattern for the shoes, but I'm waiting on those poly pellets. So I may just have to go run out to the store and buy them from the store. They were a few dollars more expensive at the craft store, but I may have to do that. So I feel like I was rambling a little bit here, telling you about the different strings. Hopefully that all makes sense. If you do have any questions, please just leave me a question in the comments. And really you're just going back and forth. I think the buttons are there just to help support the string so that they don't like pull through the body. I'm not really sure why people put buttons on. Maybe it's for decoration. It looks kind of neat. But I do think it's there just to kind of support and spread out that jointing area. So here I'm just like really pulling that tight. And then there you can just kind of tie them off. If you have the nice tight join, your doll should be able to stand. So, and the legs are wired. So there, you want to make sure that when you sit your doll down that you're happy with the placement. And then when you stand the doll up, that you're happy with the placement of the hips. It's a little all over the place. Sorry there. I was making sure that standing her up, it looked okay. So yeah, it's just a lot of back and forth. And please do like and subscribe my video, and so that you can know when the next ones are coming. If you have any trouble pulling the needle through, you can see that I used pliers to kind of help grab onto it and So that's kind of a handy tool to have. Those are the needle nose pliers. And they're linked in the Amazon links in the beginning of the paragraph. So there she stands, and she just sits down real nice, and I was really happy. So here's some pictures, and stay tuned for the next video, and you can see the placement of how everything worked out. So thanks. I hope you guys are having a good end of summer, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.